One of the main questions that teachers might ask is, why should I use Hapara Workspace if I'm using Google Classroom? And if I use Workspace, how do I integrate Google Classroom with it? This is a great question, and there are a few ways that you can use Google Classroom and Workspace to your benefit. What's important to note is that Hapara Workspace truly guides learners to resources in one spot. So when you're using the Hapara Workspace, you want to be able to curate all of your resources, even assignments and rubrics, all in one spot, so it's visually appealing for your students and it's easy to keep track of them. One of the things that you want to make sure that you do is when you want to use your Google Classroom with your students as well, you're going to use actually two very important features on Google Classroom. The first one is going to be the announcements, and the second can be your questions that you use. So say, for an example, during the week, you want to announce what the students are doing and you want to make an announcement to the class. So as you can see right here, I posted an announcement of what I wanted students to start or work on. And what you're going to do with this announcement in order to link it with your workspace is you are going to, once it's posted, you're going to grab that link, the copy link, which is located right underneath the three dots under the post, and you're going to copy that link to the post. Then what you can do is you can put it in one of your cards in your workspace. So as you can see in my Force in Motion workspace, I've already put an announcement card here, put a little icon so kids know that this is an announcement from the Google Classroom. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit the card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this link to the space, to the card here. And then I'm going to hit done. So now when the students get on this and they click on it, it will bring them right to that announcement that I want them to see for the particular class. So notice I have this announcement. They're going to be able to read it. So it definitely links it to that workspace that I want it to do. Another way that you can link your Google Classroom with the workspace is maybe posting a question. It could be a question for the day. It can be the exit ticket. It can be whatever you want it to be to engage your learners. So when I go back to my Google Classroom and I go to the classwork page, I'm going to go to create, and then I'm going to create a question. Now I've already done one right here. And if I'm going to view the question, it was, what is one thing you learned from this section about force and motion? So when it is posted and ready to go, what I would simply do is I would simply grab this, the link from here. So I'd go to the three dots, click copy link, go back to my workspace, go to my card that has question of the day, click on those dots, hit edit, and then I'm going to paste Control V, my link in there. I did put it under evidence section of the assignment because as a student goes on the assignments or evidence section of their cards, they would have to hit start and click the link. They would complete it and then submit it. So it kind of gives me an idea on both ends how the student actually did the question and submitted it. So I'm able to get it on Hapara as well as Google Classroom. So the students will be able to answer it and all of that. So that's another way that you can link Google Classroom things to the workspace. Another thing that you can do with the workspace and the Google Classroom link is that by linking your Google Calendar from your Google Classroom. So right now, as you can see, on my Google Classroom, I have some upcoming dates for assignments that I've posted. And I want to make sure that in one spot, students are able to access maybe the calendar on the workspace to see what's due and everything is linked together. So in order to get that link for the Google Classroom calendar, what I'm going to do is if you go to classwork section of your Google Classroom, and you'll notice you have an icon here for Google Calendar. And if you right click on it, you're able to copy link address. Then you can go back to your workspace. And if you have a card under maybe resources for your calendar, you're going to go to the three dots, hit edit, and then you can paste that link into the cards and hit done. So then again, this is just another resource for the students to have. So when they click on this calendar, it will open up to their Google calendars that shows all their due dates for anything that you have linked to your classroom. So again, those are just some ways that you can link your Google Classroom with your Hapara workspace. It just allows for a more streamlined learning that allows you to guide your learners with all the resources in one space.